What if the grumpiest, sharpest, most unflinchingly real face in Hollywood simply vanished? No farewell tour. No final close-up. Just a closed gate, a locked hangar, and a town that hates unanswered questions. Tommy Lee Jones, the courthouse drawl, the steel stare, the human lie detector, once walked into every frame like a warrant. Then one late summer, he walked out of the frame entirely. Not retired. Not cancelled. Not ill. Gone. The last confirmed sighting, a dusty Texas airstrip. A cab pulled low. A duffel bag. No entourage, no driver, just the sound of somebody who doesn't owe anyone an explanation not giving one. That's where the story should end. But the town needs a villain, and the internet needs an autopsy. When the movies lose a sheriff, the theories saddle up. Message boards, podcasts, red string maps fill with claims. His ghost directing under a pseudonym. He burned a script worth $3 million. He keeps a vault with audition tapes of A-listers begging for mercy. A vault? Cute. Hollywood doesn't keep secrets in vaults. It keeps them in rooms that don't officially exist. A junior publicist swears she saw a banker's box labeled in a tight, old-school hand, "Do not cut." TLJ. Do not cut what? A film? A line? A person? The box vanished a week later. Paper trail? None. NDA? Airtight. If you can't find the artifact, hunt the motive. Some say it started with a meeting, a studio conference room colder than January, a slate of a legacy of roles that smelled like reheated stew. He listened, nodded, left, and never came back. Others say it began on set, with a scene that refused to die, 13 takes, 14, 15, a young star who couldn't land the truth and a director who couldn't hear no. Tommy said one sentence, not angry, just surgical, "You can't fake gravity." He set his hat on the mark, walked away, never raised his voice. The footage is locked. The call sheet missing. Nothing scandalizes Hollywood like restraint. Then the map widens. New Mexico whispers about a barn with blackout curtains. An Austin prop house reports a bulk purchase of analog tape. A retired pilot talks about night flights without lights. If you believe the Midnight podcasts, there's a rumor of a tape with no credits. His voice, not acting, just talking. To whom? To time. No score, no title card, 57 minutes of air and hard truths. It begins, they say, with a knock on wood and the line, "If you're here for gossip, you'll leave with work." Half the listeners become disciples, the other half become bounty hunters. Was there a fight, a secret lover, a lost fortune? Cute questions, wrong story. The most scandalous thing an icon can do isn't sin. It's refuse to perform the apology tour you paid for in your head. He didn't disappear. He perfected the art of being unavailable. But if there's no crime, why are there witnesses? If there's no scandal, why are there NDAs? If there's no ending, why does that airstrip still smell like goodbye? This is the part where we pretend we want the truth. Really, we want the click that feels like truth. So we get both, the rumor the town deserves and the parable it can't Manaize. He didn't vanish, he just stopped giving the camera permission to find him. And somewhere out there, beneath the same Texas sky that made him famous, a metronome of cicadas keeps time for a legend who traded spotlight for silence, and taught Hollywood that mystery still pays better than confession. They call it the vault, though no one agrees where it is. Some say it's buried under his ranch near San Sarbor. Others swear it's hidden in a concrete bunker behind a bar he used to frequent in Santa Fe. The truth? The vault might not even exist. And that's exactly why everyone keeps looking for it. It started with a photo, grainy, badly lit, leaked to a forum that doesn't exist anymore. Two silhouettes, one unmistakably his, that hat, that stance, that refusal to smile. The second figure? A man half his age, shaking his hand. A caption underneath, "The tape is real." That was enough to send the gossip machine into orbit. A blogger in LA claimed the vault held decades of recordings, moments from sets where stars broke character and revealed who they really were. One tape allegedly captured an A-list director losing his mind. Another featured an entire board meeting from a studio that no longer exists. Tommy, they said, recorded everything. Quietly. Legally? Probably not. Someone called it revenge. Someone else called it art. But everyone agreed on one thing: if the vault ever opened, careers would end overnight. A former assistant talked, briefly, then stopped answering calls. Her last post online read, "He doesn't keep secrets, he keeps receipts." The tabloids loved that line. They built whole empires on it for 2 weeks. Then something stranger happened. The tone shifted. People who'd mocked the story started to vanish from the conversation. A podcast host deleted his episodes. A journalist who swore she'd heard a snippet of the tapes wrote a retraction that didn't sound like her voice. Her last tweet: "It's not about him. It's about what we said when we thought he wasn't listening." That was when the myth started turning inward. Maybe the vault wasn't physical. Maybe it was metaphorical, a lifetime of unspoken truth, locked behind that granite expression. The idea that he'd been quietly documenting Hollywood's rot, not to expose it, but to outlast it. And while the internet screamed about leaks and lawsuits, Jones himself was seen at a small-town diner, eating eggs, reading paper, tipping $20 on a $10 meal. A fan approached, phone out. He looked up, met her eyes, and said softly, "You'll lose more than a picture if you take that." She put the phone down. She swears she still doesn't know why. Weeks later, a new rumor sprouted, a cattle brand registered in his name. Not for livestock, but for films. The mark was simple, a single circle, unbroken, burned into wood. Some said he branded the reels of movies he'd been cut out of, a quiet way of reclaiming what the credits forgot. Others believed he was marking the truth, a coded system that told which stories Hollywood had rewritten beyond recognition. The conspiracy deepened. Producers began checking old archives, terrified to find the symbol. A few did. One studio executive resigned the next day. The town spun, the clicks multiplied, and the man at the center of it all said nothing. Silence is currency now. He's the richest man alive. Some nights, locals near the ranch say they see a flicker of light through the trees, like a projector beam, faint, steady. They say if you listen carefully, you can hear the same line over and over, caught in the wind. You can't fake gravity. Maybe he's watching the tapes. Maybe he's making new ones. Maybe he's reminding everyone who forgot that mystery isn't a scandal, it's survival. Hollywood keeps waiting for him to break, to speak, to explain. But Tommy Lee Jones doesn't give interviews anymore. He gives silence, and lets the rest of the world do the talking. And that, more than any vault, is the secret he built. The longer he says nothing, the louder the legend grows. They said the vault was just the beginning. The real storm came when the email surfaced. 40 years of studio correspondence, script drafts, and voice memos. Nobody could prove they were real, but the timing was perfect. Award season, the week before the Golden Globes. One message, dated 2003, read, "He walked out after page 78. Said the script had no soul. Said we had no soul." Another. He told the investors he'd rather brand cattle than fake another monologue. We thought he was joking. He wasn't. Suddenly, every journalist had a theory. Some said it was a hack. Some said he leaked it himself. Others believed it was an inside job, a revenge drop from someone he'd once protected. The town loves betrayal more than truth. Every newsroom scrambled. Every studio panicked. Overnight, Tommy Lee Jones became Hollywood's missing conscience, the outlaw who wouldn't play along. For a brief moment, the world remembered what integrity looked like, and it scared them. Because buried among the fake leaks, there was one audio file that did sound like him. Low voice. No microphone polish. Just gravel and breath. This town doesn't make movies anymore. It makes noise. When the noise gets loud enough, people forget who's lying. 3 seconds of silence. I'm not missing. I'm listening. The clip spread faster than wildfire. Cinemas used it before screenings. Influencers turned it into a sound on TikTok. Every baritone voiceover artist started copying his tone. Hollywood made a trend out of the man who tried to disappear. And then, another twist. A private jet manifest leaked to TMZ showed a flight from Austin to Washington, D.C., booked under a pseudonym the fans recognized from one of his movie aliases. A week later, the Senate Ethics Committee went into closed session. No explanation given. Rumors flew. He'd testified. He'd confessed. He'd blackmailed. Or maybe, just maybe, he'd been invited to speak, not as an actor, but as a witness. A political site claimed he'd been working on a screenplay about government surveillance and had stumbled into something real. The headline, the movie that became a file. Nobody could confirm it. But a photo leaked from a cafe near Capitol Hill, a tall man, weathered face, black Stetson hat, reading a newspaper upside down. Caption: still listening. 2 hours later, the cafe burned down. Electrical fault, they said. The next morning, Variety ran a headline that looked more like an obituary. Tommy Lee Jones has left Hollywood. Underneath, just one quote from an unnamed friend. He didn't quit. He outgrew it. That line hit harder than any scandal. It was the kind of sentence that made the industry stare at itself in the mirror and look away. By summer, the legend had metastasized. Podcasts called him a whistleblower. Tabloids said he was hiding from a secret trial. Fan forums claimed he'd recorded his final confession on analog tape, buried in a Desert Storm bunker. And through it all, silence. No denials. No statements. Not even a sigh. Hollywood hates a man who refuses to explain himself. Because every blank space becomes a screen, and they'll project their own guilt on it until the picture looks familiar. So when people whisper, where is Tommy Lee Jones?" the only real answer left is, everywhere. He's in the quiet between takes. In the pause before someone lies. In the ranch when that sounds like applause dying out. Here's what happens when a man refuses to be content with playing truth and starts living it instead. There's a line scratched into the wood of his old trailer door. No one knows who wrote it, but it reads, "You don't retire from truth. You retreat to it." Maybe that's all the explanation we'll ever get. And maybe that's enough. By the time the next award season rolled around, Tommy Lee Jones had become less a person than a cipher. Hollywood turned him into its favorite kind of ghost, the sort that says more about them than about him. Every studio brunch, every podcast, every late-night host needed to mention him once per segment. Tommy Lee Jones sightings became a national pastime. A man fitting his description was seen driving a pickup truck through Montana. Another, eating pecan pie in Oklahoma, paid with a $50 bill signed TJ. A blurry photo of a cow beer hat in a rearview mirror collected 3 million likes. The caption read, "He's fine." But if he was fine, why was everyone in Hollywood terrified? Because somewhere out there, people started receiving envelopes, plain brown, no return address, postmarked from random towns along the Rio Grande. Inside, a single Polaroid of a desert sunset and a line typed on a vintage typewriter. One read, "You can't sell what doesn't want to be bought." Another, "Don't confuse attention for love." A third, sent to a studio executive notorious for spin-doctoring biographies, said, "You don't write legends. You borrow them." Each envelope contained a small cattle brand symbol in ink, a perfect circle. Someone in PR tried to turn it into a campaign, The Circle Project, an avant-garde art stunt about anonymity in fame. But no one claimed it, no website went live, and when the trademark lawyers looked up the brand, they discovered it was legally registered. To him, that's when the fear changed flavor. This wasn't a scandal anymore. It was a reckoning. Every gossip site that had used his name to farm clicks suddenly went quiet. A few even deleted their archives. One editor explained it off record. "It's not that he threatened us. It's that we realized how much we needed him to stay missing. The story dies if he comes back." And that's the cruelest truth of all. The machine runs on mystery. So the industry kept pretending to search, because searching sells. Documentaries pitched themselves as investigations. Talk shows reran old interviews and called them a prophesize. In one of those clips, filmed back in 2011, he said something that now sounds like a goodbye wrapped in a joke. "You folks will only miss me when you can't Manaize it." At the time, people laughed. Now they quote it like scripture. Then came the video. A YouTube channel called Gravel and Dust uploaded a 14-second clip at 2:17 a.m. It showed a close-up of a weathered hand placing a tape recorder on a table, pressing record, and walking away. The voice that followed was unmistakable, that slow, deliberate cadence. You wanted the truth to go viral. You forgot it has no algorithm. The channel disappeared within an hour. Digital forensics couldn't trace the IP. But the sound engineer who analyzed the background hum claimed he recognized the frequency of cicarders native only to one county in Texas. He said, It's him. It's exactly him." After that, sightings stopped. No more envelopes. No more rumors. Just a single report from a Border Patrol pilot who saw a lone figure on horseback at dawn, riding toward the horizon. He didn't wave. He didn't look back. But the pilot swore the man paused at the ridge, tipped his hat, and vanished into the sun. And maybe that's the only ending this story deserves. Because Hollywood can spin a scandal, but it can't market a man who refuses to be sold. Tommy Lee Jones didn't fade away, he just reclaimed his silence. Now, when you see his old films on late-night reruns, listen closely during the credits. Some swear there's a faint sound layered under the music, a creak of leather, a slow breath, a whisper that might be his. It says, almost kindly, "Stop looking. I was never lost." The screen fades to black. And for once, no one claps.